oh baby, I am who I am. My name is my name. I am back. This is episode 92, 93 of Shooting the Shit with Sands. And we will have a lot of podcasts after this just popping up. Just bam, bam, bam. I might drop 3 this week. And I'm really going to do it, man. But yeah, I've just been beating myself up and kind of being a pussy. Like if you really want to know, I've kind of been being a pussy about podcasting, and I don't know why. I think it's being scared. I don't know. It's like this whole thing with my insecurity of failure, you know? But I've kind of turned a new leaf on not life in particular, but kind of my mindset, and to be honest, I was really, and people can say it's an excuse or whatever, but I'm not defending myself or giving excuses why I didn't pod. Like I was being a bitch. I was just like, bro, it's been so long. I didn't make a video that day. And then the fucking InShot app, I'm telling you, I suck with phones. Like I'm actually pretty technologically intelligent, with computers and apps. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I have a 6S. Look at this little piece of shit. This little piece of shit phone. That's what I got. And I don't know why. I just feel as though I can't get that fucking app down because I really want to make a lot of shorts. I want to make shorts, and I should just honestly make it on my computer, but whatever. But yeah, I just started having this thing where I really wanted to focus on my girl, man. I wanted to focus on Nia. And I don't feel guilty about that at all. At all. And it's not because we're in a bad place. I just think that my mindset on our relationship is so different now. She is the one, and I've known she's the one, but it's almost having something in front of you the whole time, and then you finally realize it. You know what I mean? Or you already knew, but you didn't buy into it fully. This sounds horrible that I didn't buy into my fucking girlfriend, but I did. I think it was just taking it seriously. You know what I mean? And to the point where you're showing how you feel by action and not just words, and spending quality time with her, having conversations about things I've been complained at by her about not having, talking about random kid shit. Like, I don't know why the woman in your life always has to be like, you don't communicate with me. You're the only person I talk to. Like, literally, we live together. You say we don't hang out enough. What? I get it. That's fair. I understand. You mean quality time hanging out. We live together. I talk to you for 6 to 8 hours a day when we have work. On the weekends when we're both off, I talk to you for fucking 16 hours of our day. In the bed, out the bed, about random shit. But I don't talk about deep, like, how do I not talk about deep shit? I've talked about kids. I talked about marriage. And then I asked Nia one day after work if she wanted to go look at wedding rings, engagement rings. And I'm not kidding. She had her heart stopped. Like, we got in the car and she's like, I feel funny. And it was about 5 minutes after I asked her that. Caught her way off guard. But yeah, it's just me and Nia, man. And I just love her so much. And I don't want to, I know this is like a sports podcast or whatever, but I would like to have more topical conversations on this podcast, to be honest. I just don't know how to do it alone. I need a partner in crime on my podcasting. That's what I need. I need someone to bounce off of. And Nia might end up being that, not with the sports shit, but she'll just come in for a segment every once in a while, because I figured out how to do multiple mics on this laptop. But yeah, the love I feel for this woman is overwhelming at times, where it's just, I've never had more concern for a single human. I've never had more concern for somebody's well-being. And it's not because I feel responsible for those things, even though I feel like that is part of the situation, but it's literally just, I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with this woman. I'm not joking. I'm not interested in any whores. You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. I'll see a fat ass and go like, wow, you know, like holy shit, wow, wow. It's like Owen Wilson. That's great. That looks. Why am I'm like I'm being the whitest guy ever. That's awesome. Great ass. No, it just doesn't appease to me. But honestly, I started talking to Nia about this. I get why men cheat. I'm not defending them in their action, but I understand. Hold on. But yeah, like I was saying, I totally understand how men cheat. I really do. Right? I'm not defending their actions, but I do understand. I think in a broader spectrum, I think men have much less self control than women do. I think women have hoes. This is the difference. Women can have men that are their hoes, and they get a bag from it, they get food from it, they get everything, right? Most of the time, when a man has hoes, you can get some of that stuff, but I would say more than half the population are men. When they got hoes, are just tricking, and they're trying to beat it down. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to fuck when they got hoes. Women ain't really trying to fuck you all the time just because they talking to you and stuff like that, which is very interesting. I think just women are more player than men, and that's just a fact. I think we break their hearts way worse than they break ours, but that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I totally understand like seeing that ass, or like if you're a tits guy or like a pretty face, and you just go like, I don't give a fuck if she lives at the homeless shelter. I'm trying to beat it down. That's nuts. Okay, that's fucking crazy. But it's just what society we live in. It is. But yeah, it's just being in love, like deeply in love, is fucking weird, man. Your day revolves around them. You're always worried about them, and you just move differently. And I understand the cliche at the wedding where he says the groom goes, "You made me the man that I am today." Right? It sounds corny, but you really realize that yes, that man may have been successful on his own, and he could have got his shit right. But the sense of urgency you have while you're in love, and you're trying not to take care of someone, but kind of just help develop them as a person as they help develop you as a person. You know, you're kind of chipping in back and forth to each other's lives. I think it's just a really complex thing. But yeah, I just really wanted to focus on Nia, hang out with my awesome girlfriend. And it is funny that I've said this 100 times. When you start hanging out with the girl that, or a woman, sorry, I keep saying girls, a woman that you actually love, you keep going every time. Like you'll go, you'll play Xbox, or you'll hang out with the boys, or like me, I just watch basketball, and then you hang out with her for like 2 or 3 days straight, and you're like, damn, this bitch is cool as fuck. Like, this is why I fuck with her. You always do that when you hang out with your girl, and you realize that it's like a really fun time to hang out with them. Anyways, that's my whatever long 10-minute rant on me and Nia getting to it. But yeah, some things are more important than others, and I know I probably won't make it in the podcasting game. I do it for self pleasure, but that should not give me an excuse not to give effort towards it. Does that make sense? Like, why would you half-ass this shit? And that's what I've been doing, and I've done it for not the whole time I've done this, but when I started getting into like a real career type of job and things like that, I kind of put the podcast to the side, which happens in real life. Anywho, dude, quit talking about fucking your one. Whoa, okay, stop talking about women. I was like, stop talking about fucking your woman. That would have been crazy. Yo, our sex, you should see how she throw it back. That'd be nuts, bro. Anyways, God, the Heat fucking suck. Okay, let's get to this Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers situation. I think is very interesting, right? So I would say not a lot of teams are interested in Aaron Rodgers, but based on his contract, I don't think it has anything else to do with it. But I think there's this weird split where I've never seen teams be publicly out, and I'm not here to talk collusion or anything like that. It's just, I'm just like unraveling this in my brain as I go, kind of. I've never seen teams like the Carolina Panthers, which it kind of showed with the Panthers. I'll give them some credit why they were out because they traded up to get the one. That makes sense. But just people going Lamar Jack or Atlanta, I'm out. You got all the money in the world to go get him. Do you believe in Desmond Ritter? Do you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people don't understand the complexity to a proven quarterback in the NFL. Not just a good, not just like a good starting quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo, right? This is the youngest MVP in NFL history. The youngest, he can't throw. Why the fuck does he have a 3-1 career TD to INT ratio if he can't throw? The malpractice that the Ravens have put that man through. The best person he's ever thrown to, other than obviously Mark Andrews, who was hurt a lot this year, and Lamar was hurt, so they were just like switching missing games with each other sometimes. Who's his best receiver he's thrown to? Marquise Hollywood Brown? That's his best one? That's your best receiver you can give him, honestly. And I think a lot of people, dude, Lamar is this icon, like a cultural icon. You can't tell me players don't want to play with Lamar Jackson. But you're talking about a guy in his prime, barely in his prime, even if, like, he's been in his prime since he came to the NFL, considering he won MVP, I think, at 24, 25 years old. So he's not even close to 30, right? He hasn't won a playoff game. I don't give a fuck, dude. If you're trying to compare him to Mahomes or a Burrow, I don't see any difference. I don't see any difference from Lamar and Josh Allen. What is the difference? What is the difference between Lamar and Josh Allen? Their systems. That's the thing, too. People are talking about how Greg Roman created this system that perfectly fit Lamar Jackson, right? You're telling me a player of that caliber can't go and run a fucking the new age NFL offense? That's why I always hate this. He was always in the shotgun in college. He can't, dude. All I see is shotgun, right? You're telling me a dude like Jalen Hurts can go from not a bad quarterback, but just like we have to see if he's the guy, to an MVP level, right? Playing how he plays. And you're telling me you can't make an MVP a winner by putting him back there and putting him in read option situations, RPO situations? Are you fucking nuts? Are you crazy? With real weapons? Are you crazy? Stop it, man. Fucking stop it. And then we got the 40-year-old quarterback over here who has been just full of drama and really is a choker in the playoffs. Lamar can't even prove it. He doesn't even have the long laundry list of the choke jobs that Aaron Rodgers has or that Peyton Manning has on their resumes because they're older and they're more developed. We can't even give them a chance to play in the playoffs 5 years to come to random conclusions about how successful he can be as an NFL quarterback. That's crazy. No, dude, not everybody's going to be Joe Burrow their first healthy year, go to a Super Bowl. Not everybody's going to be the greatest quarterback I've ever seen, and I am a Buccaneers fan. I'm a Tom Brady fucking diehard. Patrick Mahomes, dude, stop setting people to Patrick standards to Brady standards, okay? Stop setting people to those standards. And if I see y'all post another rookie INT record or how many picks they've thrown in their rookie year and compare it to Peyton Manning's, I'm going to fucking lose my shit. That is the one thing that pisses me off, okay? Peyton Manning is like the highest graded quarterback to ever come out of college, all right? Stop comparing motherfuckers to them. And we got that 4-year-old quarterback who is not the easiest guy to play for, to employ in general. And there's just buzz around him getting traded. I want to see where he goes. But once again, I think it's absolutely the Jets. I just think it's weird that Lamar Jackson is having a hard time out there. And I don't say collusion because it is true, right? That other teams aren't going to do the dirty work for the Ravens. But to counterpoint that point is you're not doing dirty work if they don't match it. And you're putting yourself in position to get, because I don't know if the Ravens match 200 mil guaranteed. And for people out there saying that he doesn't deserve that, you're a moron. Okay? You're a fucking moron. Do you think Kyler Murray deserves 190? But you're just going to be like, of guaranteed money. What was it, 170, I think it was? Something like that? 180? In that range? You're telling me he doesn't deserve more than Kyler fucking Murray? Are you crazy? And no, the Browns finesse the system, and the owners are pissed about that contract. It's like the Rudy Gobert deal. That's what I said the whole time, comparing it to the NBA. That trade will never be done again. Did that KD trade, you go like, holy fuck, no. The Rudy Gobert one did, because it was horrible. The DeAndre Hopkins trade stood out to you too. It's just compensation for what you get. Nobody's ever going to get, a superstar will never get traded for less than DeAndre Hopkins got traded for. All right? A superstar will never get traded for more than probably Donovan Mitchell is the real example. I don't know if somebody gets traded for more than that, even though the KD trade was super nice. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, that Deshaun Watson deal was an anomaly. You have a dude who has all those allegations against him. He gets a suspension for the allegations. You pay him less on the front end so he doesn't get fined a lot. You know what I'm saying? They are just finessing the fucking system. And they paid him a shit ton of money. And he looked horrible. He looked fucking terrible. So don't judge that contract. Like in Lamar's camp, they shouldn't be like, they should say it but not expect it. They should say, we should get this much. And he doesn't have an agent. That's also the thing. And I don't know if I believe the talks that with an agent, he gets this deal done like that. But I would say, I think he would have a better feel for the market. I think he would have a much better feel, because if you don't know, now you know. Can't say the last part of that bar by Biggie, but those deals, all these free agent deals, all these contracts, all these going to different teams, they happened at the combine. They happened at the combine. That's where the deals take place. So with agents are, representing their client that's in the draft. They also represent however many NFL players that are already in the league. And then they go in there and they ask around with all these GMs and all that at the fucking combine. And they ask around. They meet at a hotel, meet at a diner, see what it's looking like. And he would have much more of a feel of the temperature of what he's worth, which he's worth what he's asking for, man. The market dictates what you're worth, and the market is screaming 190 to 200 mil guaranteed for a former MVP. And I'm not making this a race thing. I'm not at all. To the public's eyes, if Herbert or Joe Burrow did that, what the fuck is Justin Herbert? You can say Burrow's different, fine. What the fuck is Justin Herbert done in his career? What? Blow a 27-point lead in the playoffs? Not make the playoffs? What has he done? And I think Justin Herbert is top 5. But if you want to bring up this resume bullshit, that's what I'm giving you back. Okay? All right? But what I'm saying is, if Herbert and Burrow were up for this contract and asking for it, the public would be like, give it to them now. Right now. Right fucking now. That's all I'm saying. Health concerns. Well, I saw Joe Burrow miss a whole season for a torn ACL, came back healthy, right? Fine. I saw Justin Herbert break his fucking ribs and just play through it. That's good. But I'm saying you're playing football, there are going to be injury concerns. And let me tell you, 1 or 2 years of missing, I don't know, 7, 8 games isn't going to make me go, oh, fuck that. Because you have to be honest here and bring context into that. That whole offense was him. Him handing the ball off or him running it. That was the offense. When Devin fucking Duvernay is your number one wide receiver, I don't want to hear from critics. I don't. And I'm not like this whole weapons guy. I'm really not. But that is a shame. People were calling for Aaron Rodgers to get more weapons for 10 years of his fucking career. He had some of the best wide receivers in the NFL every year he's played. Except for this year, right? And then Christian Watson starts balling. Okay? I don't know, man. I think the Lamar Jackson thing is weird. I don't understand it. I think just going off where he stands in the tier list of quarterbacks, he's probably in that second tier, right? Mahomes is in his own tier. And then you got I think him and Josh Allen are very similar, and I don't care. I don't care what you say to that. I think him and Josh Allen are in the same tier of quarterback. So that's just me, though. So I'm thinking probably 20 teams should want him. 20 should ask and see the price. See if they can get a meeting. Nobody's asked for a meeting. They asked for a meeting with Derek fucking Carr, who, by the way, wasn't cheap. 4 years, 100, was it 160 that I saw? What the fuck? I think it was 160 with 90 mil guaranteed, 80 mil guaranteed on top. 85, 86, I think it was. That's who you're giving a meeting to, and I think the Saints kind of blew that because, I don't know, they may have gone and got Lamar, but they didn't even give it a chance. Derek Carr gets meetings, Lamar Jackson doesn't. It's a very weird thing going on here. And once again, I'm not making it a race thing. I'm just saying there are quarterbacks that are worse than him that are getting meetings, and there are quarterbacks who haven't done what he's done in this league that you would say absolutely need the contract. Most of the quarterbacks are fucking white. All right? That's just how it is. Okay? I'm not making it a race thing. Just everybody I'm going to bring up is probably white. All right? But I will say, I don't know if Jalen Hurts, off 1 year going to a Super Bowl, gets that contract either, which is interesting. I don't know if he gets what he's asking for either. Even though we know Howie Roseman's probably going to extend him early, get him a bag, go about his day. But yeah, I just had to get that out. And then after this, we're going to talk about some NBA stuff. That's all we're going to do. That's all we're going to do. Okay? We'll be right back with part 2. Let's get it. Okay, so let's talk some NBA shit. I'm looking at the standings here. Obviously, the Nuggets are still there. I'm in the Western Conference. I'm not going to go through contenders and pretenders. I'm kind of just because I've already done that. I'm kind of just going through and looking at weird situations or how it's going to play out, right? So let's start with the Nuggets. I don't think that they're going to have playoff success. And then we're going to get into the MVP thing with Jokic, because I think it's gone into this debate that people, I don't know if it's gone too far, because I think, in my personal opinion, the NBA MVP through history has shown it to be one of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious award in sports for the public to care about, for something to reference, right? Nobody says Peyton Manning is better than Tom Brady because he has more MVPs. And they don't reference MVPs, they reference championships. But when you bring up NBA basketball, there's something about the MVP award that is very, I don't know. It's just a talking point. You get what I'm saying? And that just makes shit even more complicated. Even though Kendrick Perkins is just throwing random shit out there, I'm not going to get into the Kendrick Perkins point. Kind of crazy. He kind of put out the race bait and then kind of drew it back in. You know, he was trying to deny what he did because I didn't know what else it could be that they're not from America. Steve Nash, Dirk, and Jokic. If you didn't see the tweet, I was just like, one's from Canada, one's from Germany, one's from Serbia. They're not American. With those racist people, go for the people outside of the America guys are voting for the. Anyways, the foreigners, they are not our allies. You know, Nuggets. The Nuggets aren't a good team to me. I think they are shooting the ball at an insane rate. Contavious Caldwell-Pope is top 5 in the league in three-point percentage. I have been obsessed with watching Jamal Murray play basketball since he's came back. He just, every month, you look at his numbers, they just get better and better and better. And Michael Porter Jr. is just this homeless, great value Klay Thompson, right? His shot selection is horrible. When he's on, he can give you 30. When he's off, he's 3 for 18. Like, he's, to me, him and washed Klay. Like, Klay is washed right now, and he's been playing amazing the last month or two. I think he's averaging 25 points the last 2 months, or last month, one or two. And, you know, I just think that Michael Porter is just as good, if not a little worse, than washed Klay Thompson. So I just don't see them being successful in the playoffs, even though it's running through Denver. And do I think it's a coincidence that last year they were, a 6-7 seed, something like that? 6 seed, 7 seed, got blown out by the Warriors. Let's go see, actually. And Jamal Murray just wasn't there. I don't think that's a coincidence whatsoever. Yeah, they were a 6 seed. Look at me. Look at me knowing my shit. They played the Warriors, and I think what's going to happen is the same shit. You get Jokic in a switch. I just don't respect people. I don't respect stars who kind of, you just go, let's put this guy in the pick and roll. And that's their whole offense. That's why I don't like Rudy Gobert. But at least Jokic is so, like, I hate to tell you, he might be the best offensive player in basketball other than Luka Doncic, to be honest with you. And that's not some bold statement or anything, but I'm saying I get it there. You know, even with the Curry, the kind of not false narratives on Curry, early Curry, 2015, 2016, 2017 Curry, around 18, 19, 20, even at just because he missed that whole season, basically, when they tanked and got James Wiseman. Those years after that, Steph Curry has become a really good on-ball defender, an amazing finisher because he built up his muscle, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't respect those guys. But with the nuclear way that this guy can play offense, you really can't just like shit on him totally. But the effort, that little highlight clip against the Spurs is pitiful, man. That shit is fucking pitiful. Anyways, let's move on. I'll go through some of the bottom teams and some of the top. You know, the Kings. The Kings are fucking impressive. They are. They are fucking good. And when a team like the Kings does this, it kind of changes their reputation because they're not just making the playoffs. They're the fucking 2 seed. They are the number 2 seed. I don't know how that's possible. I did not see this. I thought they could be a fringe playoff team, play-in team. You know what I mean? But looking at what they've done this year, and you got guys like De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Sabonis, you know, these guys that just hoop. These guys that just go out there and they play ball. De'Aaron Fox leading the league by, I believe, a lot of points in clutch moments. I think that attracts some free agents, man. I think it does. Now, do I think somebody's going to be dying, a superstar is going to be dying to play in Sacramento anytime soon? Absolutely not. But I mean role players. I mean legit role players. And I think what's going to end up happening, I don't think I believe if it stays like this and they end up playing the T-Wolves, they will beat the Timberwolves. They will. But if they end up playing the Mavericks, I'm picking the Mavericks. I don't know why. I just don't believe in the Kings because it's the fucking Kings. And if they just get out the first round, they have changed their reputation just in a holistic perspective, right? They have just getting out of the first round there instead of being like, oh, it's the Kings. Of course they would get the 2 seed and not win. You go to the second round, you lose in 6 or 7. Like you really did. Like people were like, they're a piece away. They're a piece away. The GM's convinced they're a piece away. They go try to make a big deal for somebody, right? So I think that's a big deal for the Kings. And I've actually loved watching them play and just betting the overs. Every night I bet their over, I lose somehow. But every night I don't bet the over and it's 248, they score 170 points. I don't know how that's possible. But the Grizzlies. All right, we're going to get to the jaw thing. I'm going to speak on it pretty candidly. What's the Drake bar? Rappers and athletes are so synonymous because we want to be them and they want to be us. I believe that's Fireworks, the intro for Thank Me Later. Yeah, I'm a stan. Been listening to him since I was, I think, 11. You don't know me, dude. You don't know me. Trying to go to his concert, by the way. Anywho, I think John Morant wants to be a rapper. I don't think he wants to be a gangster. I don't think, and I hate that word coming out of my mouth as a white guy. It sounds horrible. Gangster, because that's not even how I talk. But yeah, I don't think he wants to be a gangbanger or anything like that. I think he wants to have a rapper's persona. The rapper persona is you don't want to fuck with him. He got shooters and shit. Oh my God. Why are you as a pro athlete? Like, at least James Harden did his bullshit in private. I thought it was really shallow of the strip club to leak all the money on the floor. You know what I mean? I thought it was pretty shallow to do that and him just getting a lap dance solo. Because I think that is an invasion of privacy to some respect. But him flashing a gun, him on that IG Live as he's suspended, just chugging Casamigos. I don't know what's in his head. I am 28 years old in a couple weeks. I would say I'm more mature than John Morant, and I don't have $100 million in my bank account. You know what I mean? I don't have 100 M's, unfortunately. But I think he needs not counseling. Like, he may need that. But I'm saying, like, from his homies. And maybe his homies are the ones that are doing that shit, where they're influencing him to do dumb shit and not telling him, yo, you need to stop that. I will say this, for instance. If my man's is out there and he has a girlfriend and I know he's in love with her and shit, and he's just drunk at the bar, and him and a girl, this is just a small example. Him and a girl, this isn't flashing guns. Him and a girl are talking at the bar, and I see they're getting flirty. He getting flirty. I'm going to go up there and be like, hey, man, don't do that. Because if you take that girl back to the house just because your girlfriend's gone, you're going to regret that. But I'm not one of the dudes that's like, he cheated on you, you got to break up with him. And I'm usually not the one to be like, I think grown men are grown men, and they're going to do it regardless, but I'll try my best to stop it. You know, I think his friends don't do that. I think that and I don't know his friends, but if I was to assume, they just there for the free ride. You know, I don't even think John Morant is some like shitty person. I think it's been proven he seems like a pretty cool, good guy. You know, I just think he's gotten into some stupid shit and he needs to break out of it, because I think John Morant has one of the highest ceilings in the NBA to this point that I've seen in a long time. I'm just saying, if John Morant turns into just him as a player, if he turns into fucking just a 37% 3-point shooter, what are you going to do with that guy, right? So the Suns. Okay, this is the KD may miss the whole season with his ankle injury, and I haven't potted since that trade happened. I don't believe I have. I don't think so. I've said it for years. I don't look at KD like y'all do. And I don't. I think he's incredible. I think he's one of the greatest players of all time. I don't look at him on an individual greatness basis like most of the public does. I think he's an incredible player. He's top 3, 5 alive, wherever you want to put him in, whatever that little 8-player range of people you can pop in and out. He's up there, of course, and he's near the top. I've always thought that he is after the Warriors move. I realized I kind of just cooked up this theory. He's an addition to a contender that makes you a title favorite. I've never seen him lead a team by himself to the finals. Against Miami, you can say that's Russell Westbrook and James Harden too. That's Sixth Man of the Year. That's Serge Ibaka. You know what I mean? I've never seen it, and I'm not saying you have to be by yourself. I'm not one of those idiots. I'm not one of those guys that's like LeBron couldn't do it in Cleveland with Boobie Gibson and Zildjius Ilgauskas and Anderson Varejao. I'm not that fucking idiot. What I'm saying is, with a lot of talent, he hasn't done shit. But when he went to Golden State, of course he's going to win chips. But since then, what have we seen him do? Dude, if his foot was, I've done this 100 times. If his foot was smaller, get that fucking argument out of here. It's not there. I just don't think of him like y'all do, but I do have them as title favorites if he was healthy. And I think they're a true contender because KD is different than any superstar probably ever, in the sense that you can just pop him in and there is no lack of flow to the offense. And we saw it with the first 2 games him and Booker played together. They're just out there dropping 29 apiece, and Booker has 38 one night or something like that. He got absolutely scorching with KD out there. I still think they're a really good team. And with Devin Booker out there, they're just a whole different team. That's just what it is. I said that from the get-go. I thought that if Devin Booker ended up moving places, DeAndre Ayton as your 1 is not a good look. But now they add KD. They're a title contender in my mind still. And then we're going to go to the Clippers real quick. No, I'm not going to talk about the Clippers. They're getting it going. Kawhi's been unreal. Let's just talk about that. Kawhi has been fucking unreal. He's back to getting his primetime numbers. Go Jimmy. Go Jimmy. And that's all I have to really say about that. They made some moves. I don't know about the Russell Westbrook move, but it seems that it's not really going to matter for them. I think in the playoffs it will. In the regular season, it hasn't. Okay, so the Warriors. We can stop with the whole, like, let's wait till they get healthy, man. Let's wait. Just wait for these guys to come back, man. I don't need all that. I'm in the camp that they're just not that good. Because they're not. They're not a good basketball team. At home, incredible. That's awesome. But when your road record, it's not just a bad road record. There's only 2 teams in the West with a worse road record than the Warriors, and it's the Spurs and the Rockets, who haven't won 20 games yet, right? And in the East, I don't know if there's anybody as bad as the Pistons. The Pistons and the Warriors have the same record on the road. I don't know what to tell you. And that doesn't make or break you, your road record, because nobody in the West has a winning road record right now except for the Kings. That's it. The Kings. 1 team. But when you're historically bad at it, when you're winning 25% of your games on the road, I think there's a deeper, and it may be worse than that, 20%. 7 out of 33 is almost 20%. So 20%. That's where it gets a little, I don't know. And Wiggins is dealing with some personal issues. I haven't looked it up, but I don't know if he even comes back, and he was a big factor in those finals. But once again, I didn't think the Celtics were the best team in the East. I didn't think the Warriors were the best team in the West. They just happened to meet in the finals. Some superstars choked. The greatest player in the series showed up and balled out. That's what happened. Okay, last team I'm going to talk about. Last 2 teams. Mavericks are weird. This Maverick situation is very, very weird. And like today, they say that Luka and Kyrie Irving are both sitting out because of soreness. It's not even It's not even a real injury. It's soreness, right? I don't understand that. I don't know. They're 2-6, I believe, with Kyrie and Luka playing together. Am I crazy? I think it's 2-6. Yeah, 2-4, 2-6, something like that. They haven't even played together since they made the trade. And I think with two guys like that, you actually have to feel it out. That's the difference between adding a KD and a Kyrie. You got a heliocentric player in Luka Doncic, and you're bringing in another heliocentric player, which they didn't have before, in Kyrie Irving. And it makes it hard. And that's all I was saying was in my video or my podcast after the trade deadline was, I think these last 20 games, they'll figure it out. They'll learn how to play together. But they haven't played together at all. Like, I think when the playoffs start, if KD hasn't played but 2 or 3 games with Devin Booker, he can go out there and they're going to be just fine. With these two, I don't know about that. And then the whole Christian Wood thing. You go to a Jason Kidd press conference, right? Now, I didn't go to it. I'm saying if you go look it up. You go look up a Jason Kidd press conference, and he's talking about the depth he has at this position. And he won't play Christian Wood. Christian Wood is the third best basketball player on the team. Why are you not playing Christian Wood? Why are you not playing JaVale McGee when you brought him in because it was such a big need? Because their lineups are weird. That's what I don't understand. All we saw against the Warriors was the Warriors have more paint points than any series ever. On average, not like ever, but like on average in a 5-game series, is their most paint points ever. Kevon Looney was down there giving work. JaVale McGee didn't help those Suns teams? Am I crazy? I thought he was a huge part in those Suns teams. It's a very weird thing going on in Dallas. I don't know what it is. Don't know if it's the coach. You know how these fans are in Dallas. It's like, fire that fucker, trade his ass. They're up and down all the time with the Cowboys and the Mavericks. It honestly pisses me off, but it's whatever. The LA Lakers are the last thing I'm talking about. The Pelicans are really interesting too. And please, dear fucking Lord Dame, ask out. My God, dude. Please. Fuck. The Lakers, man. Lakers are interesting. Braun had a weird timetable. It's looking like they're going to make it, though, considering we got 3 teams tied for the 9 seed right now. It's the Thunder, the Lakers, and the Jazz. The Mavericks are probably going to lose tonight against Memphis. So then they'll all have the same amount in the loss column. The Timberwolves are only 1 game ahead of the Lakers, Jazz, Thunder in the loss column as well. I mean, I don't know. It's going to get pretty hectic down there in the West. And I think this is a really bad Western Conference, in my opinion. I hate to say it. I don't think the Kings are amazing. I think the Nuggets are going to choke in the playoffs. The Grizzlies don't have their best player. The Suns don't have KD. The Clippers just have a bad injury history. The Warriors don't look good, and they're missing a lot of players. The T-Wolves have fucking Rudy Gobert in the playoffs. The Mavericks won't play their players and don't look good when they play. The Thunder are just young and just run up and down. The Jazz are random. The Lakers have LeBron and AD, but their health bet is just almost as bad as the fucking Clippers at this point. The Pelicans can't get their best player healthy. The Trailblazers are a solo dolo show where this guy's averaging his career best in almost everything, and they're 31 and 37. I don't know what the fuck is going on. The Lakers, though, new lineup looks really good. They got some shooters. They got some guys that can create for themselves. They have a point guard who has the ability to shoot and isn't turnover happy. Even though I am a D-Lo defender, but I know how it is in the playoffs. We saw what happened last year. You're talking about like sub 40%, 12 points per game against a team that he averaged 22 points per game against in the Grizzlies. He was over 20 against them. He was killing them during the regular season. Came out and kind of got clamped up. So, yeah, I do like that Lakers team, though. They're looking really good. Let's get on to the East, though. and then we're going to talk about some, because I only think there's a few there's really 3 contenders to me in the whole league. Four contenders in the whole league. That's why I think the Western Conference is so fucking interesting. I really do. And the whole thing with the Nuggets, I just started thinking, I don't know if there's another team that could expose Jokic as much as the Warriors did with the ability of their guards to handle the ball with Jordan Poole and Steph Curry. I just don't think that any other team has that. De'Aaron Fox, of course. So let's go over to the East here. There's only 3 teams that really need to be talked about. I just don't see it with the other 12 teams in the conference, whatever it is. And even though I think Cleveland could be a really tough out, mostly with Donovan Mitchell's playoff history, averaging almost 30 points a game during the playoffs, with that defense, I just think they don't have enough shooting to compensate against a Boston, a Bucks, a 76ers team. So we're going to talk about the 76ers first. This team feels different than most years. And I know we're just waiting for the punchline of James Harden's going to choke in the playoffs. And I don't like James Harden a lot, because I think he's a playoff choke artist. But he has been a big contributor to Joel Embiid's success. And I think that's why they look different. Is that Joel Embiid already this year, with 14 less games played than last year, has the same amount of 30-point games. He has 3 less 40-point games and 1 more 50-point game. 33 double-doubles to 46 double-doubles. He'll end up totaling that probably if he plays the rest of the season. They're 36 and 18 when he plays this year. It just feels different. I think it's a development of Maxey. I think it's the addition of DeAnthony Melton. They have a true perimeter defender. I think Harden has come into the fold and really made shit really easy for Joel Embiid. I think Joel Embiid looks incredible this year. I think his mid-range is better. I think his three-pointer is taking a dip, but he's also not taking... I think I haven't looked at the exact stats, but from my eye test, he's taking more mid-range jumpers than three-pointers. Last year, he was taking a lot of threes, in my opinion, a little bit more than I wanted him to take, but now he's not settling. And I think Joel has always had this bad tendency of kind of checking out of the game when he didn't get the ball early with Ben Simmons, because I truly did. Ben Simmons definitely thought he was the future of the franchise and not Joel. I think that was a real thing. It sounds silly, but I think that was a thing for Ben Simmons. So it was, Joel just wouldn't get the ball, he'd check out. And yeah, a guy like that can sleepwalk to 25 to 27 and 13. But it would be inefficient. He wouldn't impose his will. They lose by 7. You know what I mean? And now this year, it's from the get-go. Joel's just going out there and he's putting 35 and 15 on your head. That's just what he's going to do. And that's why they're scary. And I think they haven't been getting a lot of coverage once again because we haven't heard negative Harden things. James Harden playing really good this year. He already embraced his role when he came to Philadelphia, but I think embracing is the first step to being successful in a new role. He embraced it. And now he turned the next page into being successful in this point guard role. And not, some nights he will go ballistic, but he's arguably the best passer in basketball right now. And he's cooking out there. And I've said it forever with Tobias Harris, if he's efficient, just efficient, it's not about scoring 20. If he gets you 15 on 5 of 10 shooting, the fucking 76ers are hard to beat. Almost impossible to beat. And with the Celtics' health, that's also an interesting talking point, is the Celtics' health right now is kind of weird. We haven't seen Marcus Smart miss extended periods of time. Jaylen Brown has a fucking crater in his face. Al Horford apparently is shooting the lights out. And I was wrong about them. I was wrong about the Celtics. I don't care. I didn't think they were going to be a bum-ass team. But I did not expect them to get, once again, they didn't get all the juice out of their role players last year. That's just how good they are. Grant Williams being a sure shot from 3 pisses me off. Like, deep into my soul, it pisses me off. But yeah, the Celtics are incredible. And then my NBA champion, I don't care what happens. I mean, we haven't even seen them really fully healthy the whole season. The Bucks. I think the Bucks are inevitable. I think they have too much talent. Like, we talk about depth in a really stupid way to me because depth doesn't end up mattering in the playoffs. But when it comes to interchangeable role players, Jay Crowder, Joe Ingles, Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis, those type of guys, Pat Connaughton can get minutes in the playoffs even. Those type of guys, Javon Carter's been hooping. I named all their roster, and I didn't even say Chris Middleton, who he's been on a minute restriction for basically through the whole season. Drew Holiday has been a primary option. Brook Lopez missed the first quarter of the season, I believe. Giannis has missed games. Bobby Portis was hurt. Joe Ingles is coming off of ACL. And they're the fucking 1 seed. They are the fucking 1 seed. With all that, they're still the 1 seed. You got 2 Defensive Player of the Year candidates, Brook Lopez and Giannis. Oh, and just like Drew Holiday. Oh, and Chris Middleton when he's healthy. Oh, and Jay Crowder. Like, what? What are we talking about? I think they're inevitable. I think you have the best player in the world, in my opinion, surrounded by shooters. Not just shooters, but people who can go and get a bucket. I think the Bucks are not beatable in a playoff series. I don't think Giannis is beatable in a playoff series. I had the same mentality on Giannis as I did with LeBron in his prime. Beating that guy four times in 2 weeks is almost impossible. It's almost impossible. He took the fucking Boston Celtics to 7 by himself. By his fucking self. All right? Don't forget that, man. Giannis was this close to me. He would have went and beat the Warriors. I didn't think the Warriors were all that great last year. I really didn't. I think they got a lot of breaks. Memphis, Ja gets hurt. They're only up 2-1 when he gets hurt. Ja's averaging 37 points a game for the season. Like, they had a lot of lucky shit happen go in their favor and playing the Nuggets first round. I'm not going to sit here and shit on the Warriors. But yeah, Eastern Conference has 3 real contenders, and I think the Eastern Conference overall is just better than the West this year. Lauri Markkanen for 3. I want to die. That's what's going to be the trend of this podcast, just random Heat reactions throughout. And I'm actually going to do a Heat reaction after this game. But the MVP thing, it's real. And it sucks because what happens is this. But you can respect members of the media all you want. They are a human being, first of all. So I call them personalities and not analysts or experts. I call them TV personalities. Stephen A. doesn't watch half the games. I promise you he don't sit there and watch games at his house on a fucking Tuesday night. I promise you he does not. He may watch his Knicks, but most of them don't watch anything but the fucking nationally televised games like everybody else, or they watch their favorite teams. And they got a lot of stat guys that I don't have, and they can sit up there and just churn these stats at you. Stephen A's got his laptop open. I think dude, it's just proven that The Nuggets have they're bottom 5 in viewership for an NBA team. The Nuggets. But somehow these people go, Jokic is the MVP. If you go off material, right? Just surface level shit, and you don't watch games. Go look at all the advanced analytics on Jokic. He's the 1 seed. You go just look at the just basic numbers. Triple-double. They have it. But if you really want to get in the depths of it, Giannis didn't get an MVP because he lost to the Heat. I was going to say us. The Heat 4-1. They didn't give him an MVP the next year. They said, nah, you got to prove it. James Harden was hoed out of multiple MVPs because you didn't prove it in the playoffs. LeBron James was hoed out of MVPs because he joined a super team. That's too easy. He can't be the MVP. KD's the MVP. Why? How? How the fuck is that LeBron James not an MVP? And KD was amazing that year. Russell Westbrook, you're a stat patter. You get 1 triple-double year. That's all you get. That's your MVP. You did a trip. You did it. You averaged a triple-double. You're the MVP. Go do it again. I did. Not even in the running for MVP. We don't give a fuck. You're a stat patter now. A lot of double standards. A lot of double standards. Only 1 3-time MVP. Larry Bird. This will be the first one since Larry Bird. Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant. LeBron James. They have all played their full career. Well, LeBron's still going, but 2 of those have played their full careers in that amount of time. In that span, it never happened. And you're going to let Nikola Jokic get it, which I think is inevitable. For what? You're going against your own principles as voters. And I don't know why. I'm not going to say this was any other player, but it seems that way. It seems as though we are accepting that Jokic does not play defense and he is not going to have playoff success because of his play style. It's like we're accepting of it, so we're cool with him not ever winning a ring, but him getting all the MVPs. So if Jokic goes out there against the Mavericks in round 1 and gets absolutely fucking dusted, gets his MVP, what are you going to do next season? Because guess what? That just happened last year. It literally just happened. So you gave it before it was you had to be a 4 seed or above until Russell Westbrook happened. But he averaged a triple-double, so whatever. But you gave it to Jokic, he was a 6 seed. Okay, it's about both sides of the ball. Are you most valuable to your team, they said. Well, Jokic's numbers, they're amazing. We'll give it to him. Okay, you know what? The 2-time I thought was crazy. I thought Joel Embiid was definitely the MVP. I didn't think it was that close. But okay. But this year, you have seen this guy get exposed in the playoffs over and over and over. He made a Western Conference final in the bubble. You're bringing up the bubble, man? I'm a Heat fan. I can bring up the bubble because I went to the finals, right? I saw Jimmy Butler go shot for shot with LeBron James, okay? But to bring up the bubble when you're just for an MVP candidacy, when you got 4-1, don't fucking talk to me. And that's the double standard of it, right? Because I did the same thing with LeBron when he had Mo Williams and all that. By the way, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray are much better than those supporting casts, but he doesn't have nobody. Then how the fuck are you the 1 seed? Because of him, right? But at the same time, that man has a supporting cast. Is it good enough to win a championship? I don't believe so. And it's not because of Jokic. I don't think that team's good enough to win a championship. It's just not. And you shouldn't have to win a championship to win an MVP. But coming off a year where the team you lost to in the playoffs literally was just running pick and rolls through you is fucking crazy. Do you think it's weird that Rudy Gobert probably won't even get considered for a DPOY ever again? Ever again. He will not get considered ever again. Why? Was it the regular season shit that we saw? No. Wait. Or was it Terrence Mann fucking playing him off the court in a playoff series while Donovan Mitchell and Joe Ingles are begging him to fucking sit down so they can win the series? They're begging him. They're begging a player who was the defensive player of the year and an all-star to sit the fuck down because they can't win with him on the court. Is that what it's going to take for Jokic? Like, yo, you need to sit the fuck down. You're getting exposed. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know. But the discussion is real. It's pretty depressing, too, because Jokic is one of the best players we've ever seen in basketball, and I'm just going to say that. And I don't want to discredit him. I'm discrediting the voters. I'm not discrediting Jokic. And then it's also when you become, this is another thing I just popped in my head, when you become too successful in the league, you don't even get considered for it. What is with that also? Like, Giannis may get one or two more MVPs. May. Because he's so good. Because he's just so good. Dude, LeBron wasn't even considered for MVPs after, like, he wasn't considered in 2018 to win the MVP. How? You get what I'm saying? How the fuck is that possible? He carried that team to the finals. I know it's not a playoff award. Once again, you've been holding that standard, though. You've been letting the last year's playoff take your judgment away from the current season since the fucking award, since I could remember when I was a kid. You've been letting that happen. Y'all let Kobe Bryant retire with one MVP. One. Steve Nash has more than him. You have Shaq with 0. Why? Because they were too good? They were too good? That shit is nasty. Do I think Jokic deserves an MVP? Yes, I do. But I think the hypocrisy that we've seen is kind of disturbing. And that's all I got to say about it. And that's going to be the end of the episode because tomorrow or the next day I'm going to come in here and talk about NFL free agency and break down all these moves. So thank y'all for listening. Hope y'all love the podcast. I love you guys. And yeah, I'll be back in a couple days. Pod Goat is out. Dose.